Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tips and Trades, brought to you by Centimetre Perfect. That is Jesse. I am Liam. You can catch us at @CMPerfect_AFL for our main podcast, Spotify, Apple, and Amazon, and of course on YouTube where you are watching this today. Jesse is still feverishly looking at his trades from last week, ready to talk about what we've done for this week's Tips and Trades. Jesse, how are you feeling about round 2?
Apprehensive. Fantasy's hard. It always is.
Yes, it is.
Tipping is less hard, kind of. I think I'm winning now, aren't I? I'm definitely beating you. I think I'm beating the Robo Man now as well.
We'll talk about that in a second, Jesse. But you are right. Tipping is very hard. Now, tonight we're going to go fantasy first. We'll tell everyone our scores, give you the updates from our Centimetre Perfect tipping competition on afl.com.au. Jesse, we both had a really good week. Look, let's kick it off, Jesse. Without further ado, let's start with our fantasy last week. First of all, Jesse, you and I have a cheeky competition between ourselves.
Which is all that matters.
Realistically, yes. For us, probably. For me, definitely, because I am horrible at fantasy, which you will see shortly. But in round 1, Jesse, here are the scores: 1726 for myself, 1873 for you. Not the 400-point shellacking, but 150 is not that great either. So that does mean that you get to give me some sort of penalty for this week coming up, which is just what I need. My team being hampered as per usual. I can do that for myself, Jesse. So having you give me a penalty on top of that is going to be great. We might need to rethink that idea, Jesse, because if you give me a penalty now, I'm just going to keep getting them all. This is why you suggested this, isn't it?
Yep.
No. Should I see that coming from a mile away?
Never assume any of my ideas benefit you.
Yeah, I should have learned that a long time ago, Jesse. Oh, well, it is what it is. Look, it'll make the wins that much more sweeter when I happen to take you out one day. That's fine. So penalty this round. Next one won't be till round 5. But here's how Jesse and I fared in our head-to-head matchups in our fantasy. I did lose, obviously, to Magpie Militia. Well done, 1941. Jesse went down as well to Winners RG. I'm guessing that says Grinners.
Yep. I'm filthy on this too, because he captained Sheasel, I captained Azai. That was the difference. We had both players. I picked the wrong captain.
Well, I'm filthy too, and I probably still would have lost. Doesn't matter. But in my moving and shaking of all my players, moving to the bench and moving them around, I accidentally captained Connor Rosie. So I, that is what it is. It did not. It did not. But I'm learning, Jesse. I'm learning because I'm quite a fantasy newbie. So I'm going to learn. I'll adapt. And any trades for you, Jesse, before we get into the ladder?
I put Max Holmes in for Errol Goulden, and I have brought in Lockie Doverston for Sam Butler. I mean,
Goulden's an easy drop, isn't he? Coming off the back of that shoulder injury, who knows how long he's going to be out for? Hopefully not too long for the Swans' sake, and also Errol. He's good to watch.
Is Goulden in your team, Lim?
He is not.
Okay.
He is not. I haven't actually made any changes as yet, but that's okay. I will get to them, I'm sure. We have unlimited changes in our crew, so I might just scrap house and start again. We'll see how we go. As for the table, here it is, if you can read that. I can't even read it. All right, here's our table. Thrice and Dice coming up the top there with their 1 win. Obviously, early days, so you won't be able to really get too much of an indication of how we're doing. I thought I was going to be coming last, but then I realized that they do the percentages the same as the AFL season, for and against, which means I'm coming 3rd last. Happy days for me. Jesse sitting there in 12th spot, just outside the wild card, which I'm assuming fantasy will also do. Probably not. That's our fantasy recap for this time. We'll get some more tips and trades coming, or trades next week, I'm sure, once the season starts to get into it proper. Anything to say about your fantasy, Jesse? How'd you feel about it?
Disappointed as Wingman Miller. That's all I have to say.
Sad, man. Sad, Jesse. And that's enough of that. We're going to move into our tips now, because the tips are where we get all of our fun. It's been going for a while now. I'll find fantasy fun soon, I promise. Once I start winning and getting some understanding of how I was shocked to see how many points some of the people scored, actually. When I set 1,700, I thought, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, not this week, because your forfeit is you have to captain Ruben Jimby.
That's cooked. I was going to drop him.
I don't go like 15 points. Hey, that'd be 30.
That's so mean.
I know. Hey, I could have made you trade in Bally Banfield and then 4 weeks later make you captain him, but I didn't. You get Ruben Jimby.
Guys, he's gone hard early. Okay. Set the tone for the season, Jesse. Okay. I can see you being so quiet.
At least we're not messing with your team.
The whole time. I was going to trade him out, so you are.
Well, I thought you had Errol, so I was going to make you keep Errol.
Oh, okay.
But okay. You don't have him, so I can't do that. I'm not going to make you trade him because that feels like extra mean. So you can just captain. Hey, he's an on-field leader for West Coast. You give an on-field leader for your fantasy team.
Thank you very much. Well, I'll watch him just have the game of his life next week. Fingers crossed for Ruben Jimmy.
At least he's played North. There's a chance.
There's a chance. There's a chance. You're saying there's a chance, Jesse. All right, we'll see how we go. You bastard. Is that what you are? You're so quiet to start this episode. You were just calculating in your brain what you were going to give me.
That's exactly what I was doing.
You mother trucker. All right, fair enough. Well done. Well played. Jesse, the tips. Let's move on to something that I may have a chance at winning, potentially, probably not. We use confidence points here, Jesse. What is that?
Weighted average of our confidence in teams to win their respective matchups. We assign 1 point to the team we are least confident in. This week, we assign 7 to the team we are most confident in due to bias and shenanigans. Whoever has the most confidence points at the end of the season between Liam, myself, and Vin will be declared the champion. Don't need the most correct tips, just the most correct points.
And Vin, of course, is our robot. We're using AI to tip against us. Give a bit of an extra third person to get in there, Jesse. Now I can reveal that after laughing at Vin's tips last week and being like, what is this guy doing? We were right too. So here are our scores from last week. I got 28. You got 29. Vin got a measly 13 points. Now, it's worth saying this is where the confidence points come in handy. Jess, you got 5 tips. I got 4. Vin also got 4. But this is how the balance of those points makes a massive difference. You got to get those points right. So running totals 33 for me, 37 for Jesse, and 23 for Vin, bringing up the rear. Therefore, he will tip first this evening or this morning, whenever you're bloody well watching this. All right, Jesse, let's go on to the very first game on Thursday night.
We're going to fly through these. Hawthorn taking on the Swans to kick off round number 2. The Hawks look to continue their good form after belting the Bombers, while the Swans look to press on with their 2-0 start as Dean Cox adjusts to life once again without Errol Goulden.
Vin has kicked off this proceedings. He's going Sydney with 6. He's very confident in old Sydney. Is Vin? Sydney are usually a top-tier defensive system team and travel well to the MCG. This is my favourite part. Hawthorn are still developing. So while that might be somewhat true, not loosely true, I've noticed with the tips this week and across this whole season so far that Vin is not a huge fan of Hawthorn. Every single week he's saying something about them that's just like...
Well, to be fair, Vin's inspiration had to sit through Hawthorn beating us in a grand final and then beating us in a prelim final. So I can understand why.
That's probably fair too. So he's gone them with 6. Jesse, I've gone Hawks with 2. I think this will be an interesting one on the back of Goulden's injury to see if the Swans can back it up. If the Swans do get up on this one, I'll be very impressed because they're obviously traveling to the G. First time they've traveled this season. A couple of wins at the SCG. But the Goulden factor is a big one, has been in the past. Let's see if they can get rid of it, but I don't think they will. Hawks with 2. Jesse?
Hawks with 3, no Errol, no Party.
No Errol, no Party. All right, Jesse, let's move on to the next game.
Adelaide hosting the Bulldogs at Adelaide Oval on Friday night. The Crows soared against the Pies. They'll be looking to take another 4 points against the Dogs, who have won 2 on the bounce, much like the aforementioned Swans. Can they continue their hot start to 2026?
Vin has gone Adelaide with 5, which I think is a fairly strong margin for Adelaide, given how good the Bulldogs have been this season. But he simply says Adelaide Oval is one of the strongest home ground advantages in the league. The Bulldogs look strong in round 1. But interstate travel hurts them, apparently. So that's where we've got with them. Crows over Bulldogs. I, too, have gone the Crows over the... No, I haven't. Where's my list? Bulldogs with 1 for me. Sorry. Bulldogs with 1. I've got so many screens open right now. You see, it's doing my head in. Bulldogs with 1. I'm just tipping this based on the fact that I've loved what the Dogs have done so far this season. And if they can continue doing what they've done the last 2 weeks, they can beat anybody, including the Crows at home. So I think it's going to be a really, really interesting watch. That's for me, Jesse. What about you?
I've got Adelaide with 4, which I acknowledge is a bit risky. I'm not quite ready to completely buy into the Dogs just yet. The Crows, I feel like a bit more of a known commodity, especially at Adelaide. I do agree with Vin that it is a pretty strong home ground advantage there. Would not be surprised or shocked if the Dogs win this, but I feel like a bit of a safety first approach with the Crows.
Fair enough. Let's move on to the next one.
Richmond host Gold Coast in the Damien Hardwick derby at the MCG. Well, he'll be happy it's not at Marvel. The Tigers were so close but so far against the Blues to kick off their campaign, while the Suns have enjoyed easy wins over Geelong and West Coast and will look to make it 3 in the trot.
Vin has gone Gold Coast with 3. Still not quite sold on the old Gold Coast Suns yet. Is old Vin. Obviously, Suns list improvement plus Richmond in a rebuild stage and slightly lower confidence. Slightly lower confidence because Richmond at the MCG is always tricky. While that is kind of true, I don't think it's going to be that tricky for the Gold Coast Suns to win. I've got them with the full 7, Jesse. I think they're going to be really strong. But then again, now that I've said that and put the full shebang on it, I can actually see this being some weird game. That
it was last year, wasn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, that's why I just thought it's like just a weird game. First time Gold Coast have travelled interstate. Too late now. Gold Coast with 7. Jesse, what do you got?
Gold Coast with 7. They're big boys. They should be able to handle this.
Good. All right, let's move on to the next one.
GWS hosting St Kilda at NG Stadium, both sides coming off a loss last week. The St Kilda rummaging around their drawers for their big boy pants, while the Giants were looking to recover from the pantsing they received at the hands of the Western Bulldogs. Vin, what have you gone with here? I'm very interested to see what Mr. Robo has for us here.
Mr. Robo does like the GWS Giants over the Saints. He's gone the GWS Giants with 4 confidence points. He's quite worried about the Saints forward line struggling to score heavily, while the GWS Giants have shown that they can. Pretty straightforward there, Vin. Thank you very much. I tend to agree. GWS with 3 for me. This could be the game that the Saints actually work it out, or at least start to work it out. And I wouldn't be surprised either way, which is why I've gone quite low with the confidence points. And given the fact that Giants were pretty measly last week as well, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. But look, I wouldn't be against the Saints win here because, why not? They're going to show what they can do. Big boy pants. Get them out. Jesse.
Excuse me, Giants with 5. In the absence of evidence of big boy pants, let's go with the Giants.
Fair enough. Let's go to the next one. Jesse.
Fremantle will look to beat Melbourne at home at Optus Stadium on Saturday night, a vital game for the Dockers, while the D's, who continuing life under Stephen King, will look to make it 2 wins on the trot for their rebuild, while the Dockers will be looking to welcome new recruit Judd McVie to his first game at home with a win against his former side.
Vin has gone Fremantle with the full shebang, full 7 for Vin. He loves the Freo Dockers. He always has. Obviously, up to stadium, he loves the fact that the travel factor is massive over here. He's big on that. And Freo's midfield typically dominates at home, and Melbourne often struggles interstate early in seasons. That's probably the first time I've actually heard some analysis from Vin that makes a modicum of sense. Good job, Vin. I've gone Freo with 5. Again, like this is a game. If they lose this, mind you, Melbourne were very good on the weekend. If they can bring that heat, then that might be no stopping them. But then again, Fremantle have played a game now, so they should be able to run out a full game now. That's how it works, right?
You put your opening round in, you put your opening round out. You put your opening round in, and you shake it all about. You lose to the Cats, and now you need to turn it around. That's what D's are all about. Fremantle with 2 for me. I am very much reserved. That was a bit of a musical entourage for our viewers. Look, we're going to need to sing a good song to beat the Demons, I think, coming off that. They were very impressive against the Saints. Fremantle were very impressive for 3 quarters. That's not going to win you games of football across the season if you cannot push on in the last. They should win. They're a better side. This will be interesting to see how Stephen King approaches this, because if he can put Freo to the sword at any stage, I get the sense the Dockers will melt here.
Yeah. Let's move on quickly before I start feeling sad. Next game, Jesse.
Well, if you weren't feeling sad before, in what could only be described as a game of football, Port Adelaide host the Essendon Bombers at Adelaide Oval. Power was disappointing against North, while the Bombers were disappointing against the Hawks. Hopefully a team will exit this game with a win. Hopefully a team will exit this game with a percentage above 60 percentage points. Vin is up first here. What's Vin going?
Vin's gone Port Adelaide with 2. He still thinks the midfield depth is still too strong for Essendon. Also, Essendon can be unpredictable. I don't think they're going to be unpredictable this year. I'm fairly certain we know what we're going to get.
Stoppable on their day.
Exactly right. Port Adelaide with 3. I don't really know if I'll watch this one. I have to, Jesse. It's part of what we do. Port Adelaide with 3, and what I can only hope will be a decent game to watch. Jesse.
Port with 1, and the low confidence points is not a reflection on belief I have in Essendon. It's just sheer terror I have about Port after what we saw against North.
Fair enough. All right, let's finish up with the last game, Jesse.
West Coast hosts North Melbourne in the perennial strugglers derby for the last decade. Also in the 21st century, the Kangaroos bounced through North Melbourne with ease in round 1, while the Eagles hit a bit of trouble on the Gold Coast. Vin, thinking he's going to do something weird here. What's Vin going with here?
Well, Vin loved the home ground advantage for the Dockers. It just goes to show how little faith he has in the Eagles. He's gone north just with the one because he still talks about the travel. 2 rebuilding teams, but a slight lean to north due to their midfield upside. Fair enough as well. I've gone north with 6. I think on the back of last week's performances, if North can keep that up, they might also put a bit of a hurt on the Eagles. Jesse?
Copy paste, north with 6.
Done and done. That's the tips for round 2. It's our fantasy done, Jesse. Let us know in the comments what you reckon. Are we right? Are we wrong? You let us know. Jesse, send the lovely people home.
I'm sure they will. Thanks everyone for tuning in to another edition of Tips and Trades. Like, subscribe, tune into the main podcast. Great episode this week discussing the ambiguities of opening round as well as all team reviews from round number 1. I'm Jesse. That's Liam. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on the Centimetre Perfect AFL podcast.
Bye, everybody.